Thanks so much. You guys, this is what Travis does. He turns the camera on. Come say hi.
Let me see.
Shouldn't show me your belly, your pregnant belly? Yeah, right. He was with his perfect body walking by. Are you kidding me?
Girl.
You want to come here and tell him really quick, the funny? We gotta make this beginning of this video lighthearted because it's about to get kind of serious and not fun. Do you want to tell him what we were talking about?
Man, wait a minute. Am I that much more tan than you? If I go back, it gets pretty orange.
Honey,
Wow,
I also have
really
foundation
bright
on.
lights up here. I'm looking at the monitor in the
Look at
back,
the monitor.
guys. Huh?
You're so cute.
This
We were
is down
talking
the barrel
about
of the camera.
you guys.
This is at the monitor. Camera, monitor, camera, monitor.
I was telling them that I was gonna tell them about what we were talking about right before we walked in here, because I was like, oh, I was resting my back on the couch because I've been filming videos all day today, and I got up and I got up kind of quickly, and I got that like round ligament pain that I guess people get when they're pregnant. It kind of feels like a stabbing, like shooting pain that lasts for a little bit, and I was like, oh. And
you know what it feels like? You know what it feels like? This is what it feels like.
No, because you gotta give us some context. That didn't just happen just now. The other night I was laying on the couch and we were getting ready for both of us to get on the couch to watch a movie. And I started getting that pain, and he was like getting impatient with me and wanted me to hurry up and move so that he can get on the couch also. And I was like, can you give me a second? Like I'm hurting right now. That's just like what I told him. And like no joke, like 5 seconds later, he's like, all right, can you move? And I was like, and I was like lost it. And I was like, do you even know what I'm feeling right now? Come here, let me show you what I'm feeling. And I like went into his like little pubic bone, and I went like this, like pushing it really hard, which like probably did not even feel anywhere near what it actually feels like. If you've had it before, it's like stabbing, like shooting pain, and it hurts really bad.
I can only imagine.
Anyways, now he talks shit every time I'm like, oh, I'm having that round ligament pain. He's like, oh yeah, I know what it feels like. And we were laughing, we thought it was funny. Anyway, just thought we'd share that little quick story with you really quick.
Kay.
Now I'm about to share a story. By the way, I just want everyone to know I
See you
have his
guys.
approval to be filming this. He said it was okay, right, babe?
Yeah, from your perspective.
Right, from my perspective. This is something that we've gotten asked so many, like for years now, is why we don't talk to Travis's family. And it's a really long story, so I'm gonna try to like sum it up in this video. Out of respect for Travis, I just never talked about it because I don't feel like it's my place to talk about it, but also a majority of it has to do with me. And so I thought I would tell you guys the story of why we don't talk and like the events that led up to us not talking to them. And it's a lot, so bear with me. This is basically, and Travis, like when I was talking to him, I was like, do you feel comfortable like me telling this story, or you know, do you not want me to say anything? And he was just like, I think it's fine, but just let everybody know, this is what he wanted me to give, this disclaimer, that there's a side to every story, right? And this is my story, like my side of the story. Unfortunately, you're never gonna hear their sides of the story, and everyone's gonna have a different one, but this is what happened to me and to Travis, and that's basically how I'm gonna tell it. So Travis and I met on Match, and we had been together for a few months. And right from the very beginning, I was always honest with Travis, and I told him on our first date that I did porn. I even told him like I escorted, like, you know, I put it all out there because I didn't want to waste his time or mine. And, you know, that was that. Well, it came around time where things, you know, we were getting a little bit more serious and starting to hang out with his family. And I told him, like, listen, I think that you should tell your family that I used to do porn, just so that it's not like a surprise one day, you know, or we're not like out somewhere and you know, somehow they find out from someone else. I just always think it's better to like tell people yourself. But Travis wanted them to get to know me first and then tell them, so that they wouldn't automatically like judge me right off the front. I said, okay, that's fine. But again, felt really uncomfortable going to like, you know, these family things and them not knowing. But I do have to say, his family was very nice to me from the beginning. Didn't really have any issues. I mean, we did have some, but for the most part, they treated me really well and you know, were nice to me. So that was fine. Let me just tell you like the kind of the family dynamics. So it's Travis's mom who lives in another state, and then Travis also has a younger sister that has 2 kids, and the dad. And the rest of them, the dad and the sister live in LA. The parents are divorced, and that's kind of like their family dynamic. I did notice when I hung out with the family that they like to drink. And I didn't realize like maybe that they had a drinking problem. Although the first time I ever met Travis's mom, he had to like warn me the first time and tell me like, hey, like sometimes my mom, you know, drinks a little bit and she says some inappropriate things, and you know, like he was basically gets embarrassed by his mom. Like when she's drinking, she does things that are just like inappropriate, I guess. So I was like, oh, don't worry about it. Like it's totally fine. My family's crazy, like, you know, and embarrassing too. Don't worry about it. Like I'm totally fine. And I was totally fine. I did notice that she would get drunk every night. Like she would just drink a lot of wine, you know, like a kind of slush. What do they call them? A slush. I'm thinking of slushies. My pregnant ass, I want a slushie. But when she was sober, she was super nice. Anyway, that was that. I'm trying to think of like the order that everything went in, because so many things, like when shit went down, like it really, really went down. So I remember just like being out there. This is actually, I had brought my little sister with me on this trip because again, she lives in another state. We would go visit her like to go water skiing because she lived like near a lake, and her and Travis like owned a boat together, and you know, he would go out there all the time to like water ski and stuff. Well, we had brought my little sister on a trip once, and I remember me kind of just like trying to get to know her better and opening up about like my anxiety and stuff, especially because like it gets super hot there, like 110 and plus. And with my anxiety and panic attacks, like I don't do well in the heat. And also being out in the middle of the lake where I feel like I'm not in control of like leaving when I want, stuff like that, it made me more comfortable. And I thought like it would make us a little bit closer, like bond a little bit more if I would like told her about my anxiety. So I told her about it, and she was just like kind of like whatever about it. Didn't really say anything, so I was like, okay, fine. And then what happened was we were out on the lake and I had a panic attack, and I needed to like I needed to be not in the heat, and I was like hyperventilating, thought I was gonna die, like, and at this point I was not taking Xanax. So I just like, I needed to get off the lake. So I just said, I don't want to ruin you guys' day, but can you just drop me off at the dock and I'll take the car back to the house and then, you know, come back and get you guys when you guys are done. And they were like, yeah, no problem. At the end of that day, she had said something like, I don't even know if she was really drinking at this point or not, but like she had said something really insensitive to me about like me having anxiety. And it's like the one thing you don't say to someone with like panic attacks and anxiety. She was just like, you know, you just need to get over it. Like that's exactly what she said to me. And she like said it in front of my sister, and was like really not being nice to me at all. I was really hurt because like when you start dating someone and you like fall in love with them, like you really want their family to like you, and you like at all costs like do everything you can so that they like you. And you know, like I was just like overly nice with them and just like trying to get them to like accept me and just like bond with them, you know? And literally like all of that like sunk when she was just like so mean to me out of nowhere and like really insensitive about my anxiety. And that's like something I suffer with like on a daily basis. And it's like a mental illness that I have that's, you know, I can't control. Not only was she not understanding, but she was mean about it and really hurt my feelings. And then the next day, and she knew that she did too, and never apologized, because even the next day she had said something to my little sister like, I think I might have hurt your sister's feelings yesterday or something. And like, so she knew and acknowledged and even told my little sister, but never like apologized or anything. And like after that trip, my respect for her not only like dropped, but it just made me not like her very much. It was just sad. It made me feel really sad because I didn't feel comfortable really like doing stuff with her, because I'm like, oh my God, if I have a panic attack, she's gonna like get mad at me, and it's something that I can't control. And like, it made me uncomfortable. Call me sensitive, but like, that's just how I felt. And that was just like one thing that started that was like before they found out that I did porn. And I'll get into that in a second. Fast forward a little bit, the sister is having a birthday party for like one of her kids. And they asked me to help out. Like, they're like, oh, will you like paint nails? Because they were like doing like little stations, you know, like where like the kids at the party can like get their nails painted or have their hair braided or something like that. They said, would you mind like, you know, painting nails at one of the stations for this party? And I was like, yes, I would love to. Like, I like that they were like including me and like, you know, wanting me to be a part of it and help out. And I was just like excited to do that. And also like they wanted me to like make signs for like the different stations. So like I did this, I spent all this time like, you know, doing the best signs I could make and getting excited to like paint all the kids' nails. And when we're at this party, again, it's a kids' party, I noticed that the sister's husband, so Travis's brother-in-law, is like pounding down the beers, right? And I'm just like, this is like a kid's party. Like, I don't think you should just get drunk at these things. And then I noticed that the mom, Travis's mom, is also getting wasted, like drinking way too much wine, and then jumps in the pool with all of her clothes on. So now I'm at this party, you know, painting nails and just like witnessing all of this, and I'm just like, okay, whatever, like they want to have a good time, that's fine. But like, I don't know, to me there's like a time and place for like doing that stuff, and at a kid's birthday party is like not the place, but to each their own. And then Travis and his sister were like really embarrassed that like the mom was drunk and like jumped in the pool with all of her clothes on. And it was just like, I don't know, one of those things that's awkward, and I don't know, it was just like an awkward situation. And so I kept finding myself in like these awkward family situations with his family, but still trying to like get them to accept me and like me. Next thing I know, I find out that Travis's brother-in-law, I guess, somehow finds out that I've done porn and sends like a picture or something to Travis. I think that's what happened. He like sent a picture like, hey, did you know your girlfriend like a porn star or whatever? And I was just like, we should have told them, you know, I didn't want them to find out on their own. Now they're gonna think like it's something that I'm hiding. And once the brother-in-law found out, obviously he told the sister, and the sister told the mom, and I'm sure the sister told the dad. Like basically the whole family found out like in one day. Obviously like they wanted to protect Travis, so I'm sure they told him like, hey, listen, did you know, you know? And I'm gonna say this, their family is very judgmental. They're very judgmental people. I think that's like why I was trying so hard to like get them to like me. So immediately after that, like things went downhill. The sister didn't want me around the kids. They basically wanted Travis to break up with me once they found this out. And when they found out that Travis knew, they were like, well, why are you with her? You know, they probably thought like, well, you can do better. So that became like a whole thing. And Travis works, like when his job at the time worked for the family company. So like the sister, so the brother-in-law's dad like owned this company, and the sister and the mom and Travis, they all worked there. The mom worked remotely though, because she was in another state, but like the sister and the brother-in-law and Travis all worked in the same place. And so then they decided that they were gonna like, you know, Google me even more. And then it found me on a bunch of like escorting sites. And on these escorting sites, it showed that basically you can like hire me in China and Beijing and like all these places. Obviously it's like not true. Escorting sites all over the world use porn stars' pictures on their site to show like, oh, we have this porn star. And then when they call her like, oh, she's not available, she's booked, but here's this girl. Basically it's just like a scam to get people to like call. And it happens everywhere. My pictures are probably still up on escorting sites. I've had attorneys call to have them take the pictures down, and the majority of the time they don't do it. Sometimes if they do, they'll take it down, they'll put it back up. So it's not worth it, like me spending tons of money. And so I told Travis this, and Travis knew this. Like we trusted each other, and he trusted me, and he knew what was going on. But like his family was convinced that like I was escorting and that Travis shouldn't be with me. And so kind of like a lot of shit went down, where like the sister was like, you know, rushing into his office at work and being like showing him pictures and being like, you know, you shouldn't be with this girl and blah, blah, blah. It got to the point where like shit started to get really ugly. And at that point I was just like, listen, I love you, but the last thing I want is for like me to be putting like a barrier between you and your family. Like I won't do it. Like I refuse. As hard as it was, I was just gonna break up with him, because for one, I didn't like, when you are with someone, you're with their family too, you know? And I knew that, and I was like, this family is not a family I want to be a part of. They were so awful to me after that. Didn't want me at any like functions, like wouldn't have let me come to anything anymore. And were just like, you know, hounding Travis, trying to find everything they could on me to like send to Travis so that he would break up with me. Even then, like the mom like started sending me nasty emails, and like she would call Travis and like try to like make things like right with them, you know, and she would be drunk out of her mind and like, you know, crying, and like they would just be fighting and arguing over me, basically, like over him dating me. And it was just like a fucking nightmare. And so I was just like, dude, I'm done. I can't handle this. I've tried for months to like try to win your family over. Like this has just become a nightmare. I've literally never had an issue with someone's family, like finding out that I've done porn. Every boyfriend I've had prior to this all eventually found out. And I even was with someone who was like in politics and like in the public eye. And I was in a news, like a Christmas picture that ended up in the newspaper, and he obviously found out that way and was like still so nice to me and like never made me feel bad or like treated me differently. And like, so I had never really experienced this. Like I've had people like, you know, look down upon it or whatever, but never to the length that like Travis's family went to like make me feel like. And they just did a lot of really fucked up things. And I don't want to go into like specific details of like some of the things that went down, but it ended up getting to a point where like, not only were they awful to me, but they were being very awful to Travis and like just treating him so poorly. All the time it was just like, they just constantly were making us feel bad about ourselves and our relationship. And even though I didn't even do porn anymore, I was doing like YouTube at the time, but they didn't care. Like they just didn't approve and didn't want us to be together. And I just told Travis, like, I'm sorry, like we have to break up. I'm not gonna like make you choose me or your family. And he was like, if you break up with me, not only am I never gonna talk to my family again, but I'm also gonna lose you. He was like done with his family. He didn't want anything to do with them anymore. It just sucked to see how sad he was. Like I've grown up with my family that's been so loving and supporting and supportive of like everyone and always accepting, even if they didn't love the person like we were with or whatever, like they were always like cordial and accepting for our sake, you know what I mean? So I just was not used to that, and I did not want to be a part of it. And there was like just so negative and mean and like and eventually Travis was just like done. And so I was like, okay, fine, like I love you and I'm in love with you, so I'm gonna stay with you, but I don't know how you're gonna deal with like your family, because it's a lot. And it was just so much stress and so hard on him that they ended up firing him from his job because he didn't break up with me and chose to stay with me. And the mom and I had words back and forth about like, you know, that she was an alcoholic and that if she wanted to call Travis, like she needs to not be drinking. It was just a, God, you guys, it was such a night of months and months of a fucking nightmare battle back and forth with his family. Things happened that like were just so crazy and so hurtful, not just to me, but to Travis. And I cannot tell you that like, even though it was so hard for Travis and even me to like cut ties with them and not have them in our lives anymore, it's the best thing we've ever done. Like we've never been happier. And thankfully we have such an amazing and big family on my side that loves Travis. You know, we are so family oriented and do so much together. And so I think Travis is really grateful for our family. But like, yeah, he does not have a good family. They're not good people. They're very selfish. They didn't come to our wedding. They're never gonna see like our baby, you know, like all those things that are like important. Travis's relationship with the dad is better than the mom and sister. Like we don't talk to the mom and sister at all, but the relationship with the dad is like getting better. But even the dad like literally came to what, like half of our wedding and then left early. I don't know. I guess everyone's families are different, but like his family, I've never experienced people like that before, where like his mom cares more about herself than she does her own kid. If your kid is happy, like you support him, and it's not like I'm doing anything illegal. I don't even do porn anymore. Like I can understand like you didn't like that, but like that's not who I am. And you guys know me, like you've been around me and hung out with me. Like you know who I am as a person, and you were fine with me until you found that out. Something about my past. Everybody has a past. No one's perfect. And I'm sure like if your past was online, like, you know, people would be judging you too. I'm sure I'm like leaving out a lot of things and specific details of stories of things that have happened. Maybe I'll make another video for those, because it's like a whole video on their own of like specific things of like Travis trying to go get his stuff and his mom not even letting him at the house, telling him he couldn't use his own boat and like taking that. It's just like, it was just it was like a divorce, like an ugly divorce. Just really sad and unfortunate. But that's basically sums up like why we don't talk to their family, mainly because of me. And just because they're really awful people and we're better off without them in our lives. So that's the story from my perspective. And like I said, I'm sure I'm missing things, but you know, I can go into whole other videos, but that just kind of sums it up for you. So hope that explains some things that you guys have maybe been wondering. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and it got you to know us a little bit more. Thank you guys again for being here and supporting us. I'm sending you all my love and all my positive energy, and I hope to see you in my next video.